BLUEANON. BLUEANON. It was fake, folks. That Trump will do anything to get reelected. It was fake. That was fake blood on his ear. False flag. That's what the Democrats and leftists are saying now about the assassination attempt on former President Trump. That was 3 days ago. So first and foremost, welcome, leftist Democrats, to the conspiracy theories side. Theorists side. Welcome, finally. Because the more info I'm getting, my tinfoil hat is on as well, but not for the same reasons. It was clearly not staged and fake. There's a dead shooter. Trump has an injury on his ear. There's an innocent bystander, Corey Comator. Hopefully I said that right. Ex-fireman. Died a hero protecting his family. So be careful when you try to act like it's fake. We remember what happened to Alex Jones when he claimed false flag and innocent people had lost their lives. Be careful, leftists. But welcome to the conspiracy theory side. So, was it planned? Was it staged? BLUEANON? Or was it just utter incompetence and a colossal failure to the highest degree possible? Okay, if it was planned, who was in on it? I highly doubt all the security that was involved that day had some grand conspiracy. You know, the three-letter agencies, CIA, FBI, we know they've done some stuff like this before. So would it shock you? Was it just, a rogue police officer, local PD, or Secret Service? Or, again, was it just gross incompetence and failure? I was being a little lax on some of the Secret Service there. But the more I watch and the more updates I get, that's why I got the tinfoil on today. It's sounding more and more like how? How can you fail to this degree? The roof he climbed on was an obvious location and threat that should have been covered and taken care of. The staging area for the Secret Service and police were either that same building or the building like right adjacent. It's coming out that the reason there wasn't Secret Service on that rooftop was because it was sloped. So it was kind of hazardous to have somebody up on that roof. Seriously? If that's true, I agree. This lady in charge of the Secret Service needs to go, as well as a lot of those Secret Service agents that were working. And at the very least, even if you feel it's too dangerous to go up on, somebody should be posted at the ladder to make sure nobody can climb up it. Then we hear Trump supporters saw this guy climbing up the ladder with a weapon At first, the guy was on the police's radar and they took pictures of him for like 24 minutes beforehand or something like that. Then, as he's climbing up the roof, Trump supporters that saw it were trying to yell to police and warn them. That was several minutes beforehand. And then reports are coming out that one police officer listened, climbs up the ladder, but when he gets to the top, the shooter points his gun at him, and the police officer retreats like a coward. And then that's when the shooter realigns himself and pops off several shots. Now, I'm sorry. That police officer, if he was being told someone was up on that roof with a gun, he should have had his gun already drawn when he got up there. The location of the shooter could not see him climbing up the ladder until he was up there. Should have had his gun ready and then took the shooter out when he started to aim toward him. So there we have local PD failing there. Secret Service was blaming local PT for not securing the building. That was their job, apparently. So again, is it just incompetence, or was a local PD person paid off, told otherwise, stepped down? It doesn't have to be some grand conspiracy by all involved, all there that day in security. It could have just been one, could have been a couple. All it takes is, hey, we got that covered, and then it's really not covered. So I don't so much blame the sniper, although his tactics, looking away from the scope, don't seem right considering the distance. 150 yards, that's not very far. But if he thought that the local PD had that building secured and the staging area was right next to it, he might have thought, hey, that's one of our guys, or that's local PD up on the roof. And then by the time he realized it wasn't, shots had already gotten off. So I don't blame him as much. But people need to lose their jobs over this. And if it is just incompetence across the board, how did we get to this point? Well, I will tell you. For the past several years, we've had riots, burning cities, firebombing police stations, ACAB, defund the police chants. Most of the good quality people that were in law enforcement said, screw this. I'm getting out. So what did departments have to do? Lower their standards. You lower your standards, you get not so best and not so brightest joining your ranks. Less qualified, lazier, cowards, corrupt, shady individuals that normally wouldn't have been able to hack it. But between the demand to fill bodies because of the mass exodus that happened and DEI hiring practices, you get a lot of unqualified people. It's no shock. The answer to fix the policing issue is not defund the police and demonize. It would be more funding, higher standards, more training, more pay. You increase the salaries, better people are going to be applying to those jobs. And when you have higher standards, you're going to have more well-trained and qualified individuals. They're doing the opposite. Most of these major cities in this country are a shithole. You just had Elon announcing they're finally moving, was it SpaceX's headquarters to Texas? And his reasoning was, I'm tired of having to dodge gangs of drug users to get into work every morning. Crime is rampant. California is a shithole. People need to remember this, though, because there's a lot of leftists that'll get tired of it, move to a red state like Texas, and then still continue to vote blue. Make it make sense. So that's where we get to the utter and colossal failure. Well, the past several years, there's been a mass exodus of good law enforcement due to the ACAB, defund the police. They weren't appreciated. And why did they want to put their life on the line? Having uncertainty if they would go home to their families at night. Because they were being demonized by one side. So that's why I say, hey, it could have just been incompetence across the board. Now we get to the Secret Service that were actually protecting the president. Because I was being very lenient and nice with them in my previous video. But the more footage I watch of that was terrible as well. Everyone looked confused. I get it, heat of the moment. But these women that people were hating on before I was being cutting them a little slack. But now, after watching several videos, I agree. 2 women were crouched hiding, one behind the president, former president, who is the person you're supposed to be protecting. You're those people in the Secret Service. Your job is to be a wall and take any bullets or absorb any harm coming toward the person you're supposed to be protecting. That is your job. One woman's crouching behind. There was another woman crouching and hiding behind the stage. And then the other woman, who is actually next to former President Trump. But guess what? He's tall. I'm sorry. If you're not over 6 foot, that should not be your position in the Secret Service. If you're supposed to be taking any bullets that might be coming that way, you better be as tall as him or taller. And then we get to the one that couldn't holster her weapon. And I was being nice, saying, hey, heat of the moment, adrenaline's rushing. Who am I to judge? But then I thought about him. Wait, I'm giving her the standards of an average person. To be in that position for that job, you need to be better than average. And it's not she's a woman type thing for me. Because I'm sure there are women that wouldn't cave under the pressure and could do it. It's a matter of, can you do the job or not? And that is why so many people push back against this DEI hiring. You get people unqualified to perform their duties. And these leftist progressives cheer because on paper, it's equality. Well, it's just going to get worse when more of these DEI hires start going up the ladder. You're already starting to see it with planes. You're starting to see it with law enforcement, Secret Service. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more disturbing info that comes out thus far than we have thus far. But man, some of this stuff, I was trying not to put the tinfoil hat on. But now it's looking more and more like there might have been some people in on it. Or at the very least, complete and utter incompetence. In which case, a bunch of those people got to go. You got to clean house, you got to fire them. We can't be holding those people to the standard of an average person. They are in a position where you need to excel. I personally think all those Secret Service agents should be prior combat vets and special forces. Because even a lot of the men seemed like flustered and like they'd never been in a gunfight before. If that is your job, you should be used to bullets flying. Get veterans who have been in gunfights, who won't back down, and will gladly take a bullet. Now, last but not least, Corey Comator. I apologize if I'm saying that name wrong. He was the individual who lost his life being a hero, protecting his family, shielding them from the bullets. He was an ex-fireman. So he's been a hero most of his life, protecting the community, and died a hero that day, protecting his family. So all these liberal, leftist, Democrats who want to claim it's fake, shame on you, because you're just spitting in that family's face. That man died a hero when he was just there trying to enjoy the former president speak. Could have been me. Could have been any one of the people you know that support former President Trump. Shame on you. Shame on you. That's about all for this video. I'm sure there'll be more information. So maybe I'll make another, maybe not. But like I said, I was going to do a video the other day, a follow-up, and there's just more and more info coming out. And it's like, I can't believe some of it. It's unbelievable. And the amount of people that are, it's staged. Oh yeah, it was Trump. Trump faked it. That wasn't real. These people are insane. A lot of them are clinically insane. We need to bring back mental institutions, and a lot of these people need to be admitted. Trump derangement syndrome. So, former President Trump, if you're out there, if you hear this, I think you need to hire some good private security, preferably former combat vets and special operators, because it's crazy out there, and I think they're going to try it again. So this next 4 months, and then leading up to inauguration, you need to be looking out and get some beefed up security, because this administration probably isn't going to fire anyone or make any changes. So do you really trust this Secret Service protection? Anyways, just wanted to give an update with that. Put my tinfoil hat on. Since BLUEANON is a thing now, leftists have their own QAnon. They've joined the conspiracy world. Make sure you like, comment. What do you think it was? Do you think it was planned? Who planned it? Who's all in on it? Do you think it was an utter and just colossal failure and of incompetence due to DEI hirings and, lowering standards due to the mass exodus of the law enforcement? Or do you think BLUEANON is real and it was all staged? Let me know in the comments. Trad West Podcast.